carry on.
Hello everybody.
Hi.
My name is Darren.
I'm Graham.
And I've been to cinema with Graham, and I saw a sequel to my favourite film of all time. It was called T2 Trainspotting.
I know that one.
Yes.
I've seen it. It's really good.
It is really good.
That's my verdict straight away.
I
Really
would
good.
go further and say it's phenomenal.
I'm going to say 5 stars.
I
personally.
agree, out of 5.
We don't really do stars.
But if we did, it would be 5 out of 5 for
10
me.
out of 5.
Danny
Brilliant.
Boyle is also my favourite director, which is why I had absolute faith that this film would be great. Even though it didn't seem like it would be based on any evidence. Like, who wants a sequel to Trainspotting 20 years after? A film that defined the 90s in 2000, a sequel to that in 2017.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it worked, it was brilliant.
It really worked. And the time gap in between was kind of ideal, you know.
Well, it wouldn't have worked without, would it?
Well,
weird if 2 years later they were reflecting about life as though they'd passed like 2 decades.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank God for the time.
I suspect it would have been a different film had they done a sequel straight away.
But anyway, Trainspotting 2.
What do you think of the title?
I don't know what to say about it. What is the title? Is it
Trainspotting?
I don't like it.
I like it.
Why?
Because Danny
Is it
Boyle...
like Terminal 2, like a train station?
Well, I suppose, but also Danny Boyle described it
It's more
as
like an
being
airport, isn't it?
like what... apparently he asked what would the characters in the film call the sequel to their own film, and he said they'd probably call it T2 because A, they like Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and also because they know it'd probably annoy James Cameron a bit. So that's why it's called T2 Trainspotting.
That's quite interesting.
And he also said he didn't want to call it Trainspotting 2. He wanted it to have its own
Yeah,
identity.
yeah, yeah.
So originally it was called T2, and then presumably the marketing people were like, put Trainspotting in it somewhere.
And don't put porno in there somewhere.
Well, it's not really an adaptation of porno.
I know, it's a sequel to the film.
So to call it porno would be misleading.
It really is a full sequel to Trainspotting, the film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I bought the book Porno in HMV once, and I felt really awkward buying it because the front cover of the book was an inflatable doll. And I thought the woman at the till probably doesn't know this is a sequel to Trainspotting. She probably just thinks it's a book about porn.
And there was a man behind you.
No, that's a different story.
Oh, okay.
And so I was buying... No, he was in front of me as well. So I bought the book, but she was like looking at me really weird.
Yeah,
but she
judging
probably
you.
wasn't. I just thought she was.
Paranoid.
And so I paid her, and I was just feeling really uncomfortable, and I walked off, and then she called me back because I just left the book right on the till. Now, the thing you're talking about was when I was queuing up in the exact same place, and I was swinging my arm backwards and forwards, just hitting something without, just really not thinking.
Well, you're surrounded by merchandise and shelves.
Yeah, exactly.
And stuff like that. Yeah,
Then I kind of snapped to my senses, and I realised that I was actually just spanking the man in front of me on the arse over and over again. So I stopped, and I thought, why didn't he say something or move? And then I looked, and he was buying gay porn on DVD.
Brilliant.
Thought, oh, that'll be why.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I know.
Getting a cheap thrill.
Yeah. But he couldn't believe his luck.
Yeah.
I was only like 18 at the time.
Oh, even better.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Free spanking.
So Trainspotting 2. What did you think? Did you think it was?
I thought it was incredibly tense and gritty and fun and really and exciting.
Well, gritty is an interesting word. I mean, it's gritty in the sense that horrible things are depicted in a horrible way, but it's not like a kitchen sink drama. It's surreal and stuff.
Yeah, but it's also not unrealistic.
It's not unrealistic, so it is realistic.
Yeah.
I agree.
You could simplify my sentence by saying that, but yeah.
You gave me a double negative. It confused me.
Clearly. You have to do all the equations in your mind.
I still got a remainder.
Yeah, keep it to yourself. So I say gritty because, you know, there were still bits like a bag.
Yes, I disagreed with you on that one. Because I didn't think that bit was funny, but you laughed. I thought that was horrible. It really
I thought it was
me.
horrible, but I liked the kind of the just I don't know the moment. I don't
even know if it was. Maybe it was supposed to be funny. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But I didn't find it funny in the slightest. I was really traumatized. And then everyone laughed, and I was like, "That's not funny." I think
you've got a strong kind of emotional connection with the character in question, haven't you? And I don't know if we could go in anywhere near spoilers, but
no, let's try not to.
And it's not even a spoiler really. It happens within the first like 5 minutes.
We
But
don't
whatever.
talk about it anyway.
No.
Yeah.
Because you should. Just
One of the characters tries to commit suicide by sticking a bag on their head, and it ends in a gory way that Graham laughed at, but I thought was just really horrible.
Doesn't end in a gory way.
How would you describe? Okay, gross
Comical way.
I didn't think it's comical. I didn't think it was comical.
But anyway, well, there you go. Situations like that where it's kind of ambiguous and stuff like that.
Well, one of us has empathy and one of us is a
depends
sociopath.
on your own leanings, whether to whether or not
or
you
mental
enjoy it
state
so
of
much.
mind. What do you think of Trainspotting, by the way?
Yeah, amazing, gritty, exciting, tense. Love it. Brilliant.
Okay, fair
5
enough.
stars.
Well, I just wasn't sure if you loved it. I mean, you
No,
obviously
it's
don't love it as much as me, but I was just
No,
wondering.
I haven't got quite a strong
Yeah.
affiliation with it as you do. But
what I really liked. How did you feel about it sort of referencing Trainspotting all the time? Because people are starting to get pissy with that kind of thing, like Jurassic World and Force Awakens and stuff.
it needed it. I think.
Well, that's why I think that's okay with this
Yeah.
movie, because
No,
it's all
no,
about
no.
memory, and you only get flashes of the original as they remember bits.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yeah.
I was thinking, like,
And it's just like little references of how history repeats itself and stuff like that. You
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I mean? In
and
certain
it,
instances,
and it flashes
obviously.
further back than the previous
Yeah.
movie. It
Well,
flashes their
that's true,
child
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and you can think, like, isn't it convenient the film we've seen is the period of their life that they keep having to remember, but then they have all just come back together, and that was the last thing they all did together, and it is the reason they haven't been together for 20 years.
That was the huge kind of
Yeah.
segment of their life which affected each other the most and also broke each other up the most.
So it would make sense that they keep flashing back to the money being nicked or whatever from the previous movie.
It's almost like that incident itself was just like a huge kind of trauma, and
Well, yeah.
from a trauma you do get kind of flashbacks and kind of
Yeah.
to take it more literally than figurative sort of thing. But yeah, but it was fascinating. And it was not fascinating, but
Do you think this film could work if you'd never seen Trainspotting and you just saw the flashes back to the previous movies as just flashbacks in this movie?
it works, yeah. But I think it's definitely an accompaniment.
I think it works.
Okay, that's fine.
So I'm going to ask you again. What do you think?
Yeah, or should I change my mind?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
No,
No,
change
it
it
doesn't
the other
work.
way. Change it the other way.
No, I already said yeah.
No, but you didn't. You added in like caveats like, oh, I think it'll be better. Blah, blah. No, it
No,
it
I
definitely
never
is
said
a
I think it
standalone
would be
movie.
better.
This.
Yeah, no, it definitely stands alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
It's not just an
'cause-
expansion.
No.
Yeah, correct. So,
No.
what is
Might
your?
as well not be here, eh?
Well,
Oh,
I'll just get the answers right in future.
I did. I literally did. What the hell? Anyway,
weren't
so
in-
my point was, it works as its own film. Of course, it does. The storyline has a start, middle, and end. It's complete. It's a self-contained thing. But
Correct,
also,
yes.
the references refer back to these events, which gives it such a much stronger kind of emotional gravitas to it. If you connect to the characters, of course, if you don't care
But I
for
think
the
you could
characters,
connect
which
to
is
the
kind of
characters in this
difficult, I
film
think.
if you just watch this film.
Yes, I'm not saying that. I'm saying a stronger emotional gravitas.
I'm not saying you're not saying that.
No, but you brought it to the table
I
as if
just
you're
really
correcting
want
something I
to
said.
emphasise.
You want to emphasise your connection to the film.
No, I don't. I
'Cause
want
you
to
want it to
emphasise
be
that you
just
could.
yours.
No, you're wrong. I'm trying to emphasise the opposite point, that you could come to this film having not seen the
Yes,
original.
but I think you want to state the opinion that you have a much stronger emotional connection than most
No,
because
no.
you've.
No.
Okay.
And if anything, I would be using that point to prove how good this film is. It's not like I love the first movie, therefore I'm going to go easy on this movie. If anything, that means this movie's got more at stake for me.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Make or break, innit?
well, it's not going to break the original,
For
but it would
itself.
annoy me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is the thing. You've really got to kind of separate your films, and separate your mediums as well, because as you say, like there's a few books
Well,
related to these characters,
Trainspotting
isn't there?
Because I've read Trainspotting, the book, which is phenomenal, but I haven't read Porno. But there was a scene in this movie that was familiar to me that I assumed was probably from Trainspotting, the book,
Oh right,
which
okay. So they
subsequently
carried
turned out
out.
to be.
That's interesting.
No, the Trainspotting book is all different stories.
Yeah. So, but they used something from Trainspotting and put it into
And
Trainspotting
Scat
2.
Boys.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the prequel to the book is Skag Boys. The sequel.
It's Porno.
Right. Okay. So it's when they were. Oh right. Okay. Yeah. For the first time, I guess that's not.
Damn, read it.
Oh right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But anyway,
I
I
thought
guess
that
that's the case, isn't it?
those scenes as well were really good. You know, when it's like cut into like that scene you got took it, and it's not Ewan McGregor or Johnny Lee Miller, but it looked just like them from the first movie. I know they didn't see their faces, but their like body language
No,
was
yeah,
all perfect.
absolutely. Yeah, it was spot on. It was
Yeah.
like they'd refilm. Well, they did refilm it, obviously, but like they were there with different camera angles and stuff like that. It's amazing. Yeah, really cleverly done. And the fact that, like as you say, it's not. You can take it as not being as gritty because there are surreal moments and stuff like that. And in that case,
I'm not saying it's not
you
gritty.
wonder
I'm
what you
just when
take.
you say gritty, you think of Ken Loach or someone like
Yeah,
that.
I know,
It's not
I know,
Ken
I
Loach,
know.
it's Danny Boyle.
But there is a lot kind of there's a lot of kind of real world emotion and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
and events
it's
that
just
go on
showing
and
the world
stuff.
from their point of view, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think
live
elements
in
of
a
that is
horrible
gritty.
world.
That's why I use that
Well, yeah.
word. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong to
Justifying
say it.
my
I
word
just
use.
want to
Yeah.
emphasise
So
what you mean by
my
it.
point is just an interest. I mean, it's Danny Boyle. He's often quite not in the same way like
What were you
other
going to say?
people are, but he's kind of experimental with
Very
his kind of films
experimental.
and stuff like that.
Very
So,
experimental. 127 hours. It's a film about one guy with his arm trapped behind a rock.
yeah,
Steve
living
Jobs,
again through flashbacks.
a
and stuff.
biopic that's just 3 scenes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so no, yeah, he's very experimental.
Yeah. So, but like having them, like recreate their own scenes from the past and stuff like that, and there's a moment where Spud is standing in an alley and he watches like
Yeah.
the event of which he was there for, sort of thing, kind of happen in front of him, almost like a well, it was a memory.
Well, he reminisces about the opening scene from
But
the
it's-
previous movie.
But it was like a live memory, he was there
Yeah.
watching it happen in front of him, and it was just like shock, like.
And why
oh.
wouldn't he? Because you can go like, what's funny, he remembers the opening to the previous movie, but it's like, yeah, no, that's the time he got sent to jail.
And he's
so he probably would remember
so
it.
much, hasn't he? Don't you think? Like, he's aged. I mean,
Well, he's aged.
He's still him, obviously.
That's the thing. That's the funny thing. Like, you look at Ewan McGregor and people like that now, and you think, God, they haven't aged 20 years since Trainspotting.
Yeah.
And then they put them next to each other. And you think, fucking hell, they were children in the previous movie. They're like 10 years old.
Yeah.
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 Like,
So
I watched Trainspotting, I think that's just like Ewan McGregor. I see what Ewan McGregor's looking out, and then compared to that, it's like, oh, I didn't realise it was played by children. I didn't realise it was a nativity.
He's been through an apocalypse.
Yeah.
Since.
I'm not saying that he looks old now. I'm saying I didn't realise how young they looked then.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wet behind the ears.
Very.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Very wet behind the ears. Very wet.
Honestly, it's
wetter
dripping.
than wet. Yeah. Slippery. Anyway.
Oh well. So I love this movie.
It was excellent. Go and watch it. And would you recommend to watch it first anyway, even though it's a standalone film?
No, I'd
and
say
all that?
see Trainspotting first.
Yeah.
But I'd be curious what people thought of it if they'd only seen T2.
That'd be weird, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I don't think it would, because it does seem
No,
like
but
a
ituld be weird
standalone
for
movie.
people to go their way to go.
It'd be
and watch
weird for a
T2.
person to do that.
Yeah.
The experience
'Cause
wouldn't be weird for them, but it'd be weird for them to make that
It's got
decision.
such a huge kind of cultural kind of.
Well, that's it. That's why the sequel is a bad idea, because the first one was such a phenomenon. How are you going to match that? And I think the trick is to not even try.
Do you think that I know we're running on and stuff, but do you think the soundtrack kind of lived up to the previous?
Obviously, I've had plenty of time to love the first one, but I can say that I really
and the music
love
was
the
iconic at the time. The first one, which is I think.
I love the Prodigy's remix of Lust for Life. I loved something else in it, and I certainly loved. I loved the song. Oh, it was the Slow Slippy, and I really loved the new song that the film kind of played out to. That wasn't the original Lust for Life. The one before that, which I think is called Waffle Silk. I don't know which is the band and which is the song. I've been YouTubing it,
Right.
but I love it. I love that song more than anything.
Oh, right.
So yes, I do like the soundtrack a lot.
Does that replace the Moana song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the Moana song's a really catchy one, but this one's got an emotional thing for me now.
Yeah. And it probably feels automatically nostalgic, doesn't it? Because you got older.
Yeah. Because I really...
Nostalgia's a really strong kind of thing that
It's a drug, innit?
filmmakers kind of, well, here we go.
I wrote about all this in my blog that you should all read.
In T2?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll have to have a read.
You should. Bye.
Bye.